Hi, Merrick. Thanks for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to come here. I've had the luxury to actually knowing you from kind of like the beginning. I know you already had things in mind, but I kind of saw this really grow. So I'm actually feel very lucky and actually to be surrounded by you, and I really respect your work. So actually, even though I'll know some of the questions today, I definitely want to let the people know what you're doing, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Capitol Courts.
Well, my name is Merrick Palmer, and I've been running Capitol Courts for about 3 years now. August will make 3 years, but I've been running my basketball programs since 2007. 2007 was when I started Merrick Palmer basketball, and we started out with 7 kids, and we ran a 12-week program, and it was very positive. But even though the numbers were low, I just put it out there, and they left. They told their friends, and we did another one, follow-up Merrick Palmer Basketball School in the spring. In the summer. The first one was in the spring, and then we got 14 kids. And I said, okay, so there's progress. We doubled. Wasn't a big double, but we doubled. And then the following spring, we went to 30. And the following summer, we went to 90. And so we realized, okay, there's something here. The kids like what they receive, the teachings and the training. And so we just kept on going from 7, 14, 30, 90 to 200. And so once we got to that point, we realized, okay, we're getting too big for renting schools, and we're going to kind of get bumped and shuffled around throughout Orleans. And so we decided, let's look for something more permanent. And this is what we came up with. It's a 4,000 square foot facility. It's open almost 7 days a week. And we train. We just train. We train teams, we train kids, 4-year-olds, all the way to professionals. And here we are, 3 years later.
That's impressive. Now, if you could tell us a little bit, and I love that, I asked you, tell me a little bit about yourself, and you tell me about your vision and whatnot, putting, helping the people first. How can you describe your journey before you got here? Or tell us a little bit about your journey about and how you were able to use the things that you learned along the way and bring it here to the table as the owner of Capitol Courts.
Well, I originally from Jamaica, born in Jamaica, immigrated to Canada when I was 2, raised in Toronto, lived everywhere, Jane Finch, Rexdale, Jungle, which is Lawrence Heights area, and that's where I think the love started, just being around basketball hotbeds. But I didn't pick up a basketball seriously until I was like 14, 15, which is quite late. But I had a brother-in-law who was an amazing basketball player, and when I decided to play, he says, "Do you want to play the right way or the wrong way?" And I said, "The right way." And then he just kind of took me under his wing and brought me to these tournaments. And I was like 16 years old, playing on a men's league team, sat on the bench, played a couple minutes, just learning the hard way in the fire. And from there, I still worked at my game. I was a late bloomer in high school. Didn't get any Division I offers or anything like that. But by the time my grade 13 year was done, I had almost all the schools in Canada recruiting me. And I chose St. FX. Spent 4 years at St. FX, won a national championship when I was in my first year, which was incredible. And from year 1995 and 96, I was a second team All-Star both years. And from there, I signed my first pro contract in 96 to play in South Africa. Landed in South Africa in 1996. It was rough, but we did very well. The second year, 97, we won a championship there. So I led the team in scoring, led the team in assists, led the team in free throws, steals. So I did very well. The third year spent there, it wasn't such a good year. We lost in the semis, but I played for NBA coach Sam Vincent, who was a former player at the Bulls and Orlando Magic. So I learned a lot from him playing the point guard. And I just took all that knowledge and I brought it home to Canada, and I realized, okay, there's a big void here, so let's just start training the kids and giving these kids what they need early, because you don't want to have them learn it late as I did. So if you can get a 8, 9, 10-year-old in here and give and empower them with all that information that I accumulated later on in my years, now we're working with something, and it's happening here.
That's fantastic. So would you say before that, before you saw the demand, did you have always this entrepreneur kind of, feel, or did you know that you wanted to have something under your name after playing overseas, or did it kind of just come and, you saw the demand, you saw an opportunity, and you went for it? How did it go?
I think I always was a person that never wanted to just go to work and punch in, punch out, and go home. I always wanted to be a part of something. I never wanted to just work for something. So I actually told my mom in university, my second university, that I never want to work. And she almost died. So what I meant to say was that I don't want to work for anybody, and I don't want to be controlled by hours of operation. And so I knew I had to own my own business in order to achieve my goals of changing the culture of basketball in the country. So this is how it came to fruition. But I always had an entrepreneurial brain where if I can get something for cheap, and sell it for more expensive, that would be good, just to supplement, what I wanted to do. But the ultimate goal is to make a difference, and you can't really make a difference just working under a cloud of red tape. So I just wanted to be more free, and with freedom comes opportunity. With opportunity comes development, and so on and so on and so on. So I think we're slowly, getting that across to the kids in terms of living your dream. And so apart from basketball, we're also teaching some skills, life skills, and goal setting. So it's not just basketball. Basketball is a vehicle,
right?
But it's a good vehicle. It's a fast vehicle. It's nice, it's shiny. But we want to make sure that they get to their destination.
Fantastic. Now, is there anything that when you were putting all the pieces together and talking to the right people and putting your team together, is there anything that you visualized initially that along the way kind of you needed to make adjustments? What did you see creating this facility?
I knew when I created Merrick Palmer Basketball, I knew that I had to get my name out there. So I think that we're successful in getting my name out there, but I was ignorant in terms of you're only as good as your name, and if you get hurt or you get sick, that there's no more Merrick Palmer Basketball. So I didn't know going in that I needed a strong team. I knew I couldn't do it by myself initially, but I didn't know I had to empower coaches as well to do what I do, because a business model, it doesn't function well if it's just one person running the show.
Right.
So I needed to empower more coaches, and that's why we introduced a new program under the Capital Courts umbrella, and it's called BSI Coaching. So with this program, we're trying to empower coaches to do exactly what we do here within their team setting. So they're able to touch more kids and impact more lives than just me showing up to their practice, me or them showing up here. And that's how I think we can grow the game exponentially rather than just one kid at a time, one team at a time.
That's very interesting. That leads to my next question. You talked about BSI, and before you talk about BSI, I want to ask you, because this is your typical gym, and I really admire that. And how is this different actually, and how is your philosophy that you implement here different than your typical local gym? You said you talked about business model, and then you talked about it being more than just basketball. So what do you offer here that's so different?
Well, I think what we offer here is this. It's a comfort zone where kids can walk in the door and they don't have to feel intimidated by other kids around them that can do other things. So it is a one-on-one. It can be a one-on-one situation where they trust me. I gain their trust because of my knowledge of skill analysis. So I can quickly analyze a player and say, okay, that's weak, that's weak, that's strong, that's strong, that's weak, that's pretty good, and without them feeling naked, so to speak. So, when they go to another camp or whatever, they become a number, or it's just, here's a curriculum, let's go, and if they get anything out of it, great, but if they don't, great, we got their money.
Right.
So this is not really about money. Obviously money is needed to sustain the overhead here, but we want to give them the information for them to take away from here. They're not going to get better within the hour here. So we want to empower them with information. We do not want to train kids for their entire lives. That's not how we work here. We want to give the kid or whoever, the coach, the information they need to empower themselves and train themselves outside of Capital Courts for free, rather than coming here and paying. We know money is not endless in this day and age, so we want to make sure that the information that they do receive here is of high value.
Well, it's funny because looking at that, I can see how you kind of formed BSI with those same core values. So the next question I was going to ask you is, how did you take your service and transfer into now what you have is a product or a program for coaches, and I guess how was that transition for you, offering service and being very in person with people, now you have to offer this product. How did you make that transition?
Well, it was quite an easy transition, just knowing that I was running this for almost 3 years by myself until I found another person. But I know I couldn't train that person unless they were here every single day. I didn't have a mechanism or a document to say, read this, now watch what I do for it to make sense. So this is how BSI got created. I wrote out a 45-page manual and I shot 40 videos, and now when I gave it to this my first BSI trainee, he got it very quickly without him having to shadow me for every single day. He actually eventually did that, but he was able to, his learning curve was like so gradual that it was comfortable for him. It wasn't just a shock to his system where you gotta learn this. He read it at his own pace, he came in, and now he's able to take the clients that I've been training for years and they feel comfortable with him because he's repeating the same things, he's seeing the same cues, and this is our goal. If we can create a team of those type of individuals, now we are actually making a dent. And if we spread that out across Ottawa, across Ontario, across the country, across the globe, who knows? We could be really big, really fast, and we can actually make a serious difference. So we want to partner up with as many organizations, local organizations as possible. Within a small political city like Ottawa, there's always, there's only a small cookie, and everyone's trying to break off the little crumbs here and there to feed the family. But if we say, let's bake more cookies, so we all can eat. And so this is, if we bake more cookies together, with all the dough, it's a recipe for success. So, but a lot of people, they don't want to share their kitchen. They just want to be the only chefs in that kitchen. And it's tough, it's tough. It's not a big market like Toronto. It's small, so there's not a lot of resources. There's not a lot of coaches. So and there's not a lot of kids. So everyone is fighting for the same kid. And he's gonna play for this club. She's gonna play for that club.
Right.
Oh no, she left us. Oh no.
Yeah.
So it's very small. It's very competitive, but it doesn't have to be that way. There's enough for everyone. There's enough to go around because there's no ownership of kids. If you would say that's a Ottawa Celtics kid, that's a Guardsman kid, that's a Wolverines kid, that's a next level, then you're saying, wow, they're obligated for that. If they go over there, now they're enemies. It doesn't have to be like that.
Don't build from that.
No, you don't build from that. You divide from that. So what Capital Courts is a neutral site, and BSI is a neutral program. and that's what we're trying to do. So hopefully, more coaches will see that it doesn't have to be a competition. It has to be a unification.
Sounds like you had a lot to deal with, whether it's politics or putting this together. What do you think is the biggest thing you needed patience for while putting the pieces together?
I think patience is huge, and when a business model doesn't do very much in the first 3 years or so. But I think Capital Course is unique, where as soon as we opened our doors, there were people coming in, and because when they left here after 1 hour, they felt empowered, and this is why we're growing so quickly, and that's why I had to diversify and saying, okay, I can't be in here by myself. I need more people, and I need to be out there. So as a BSI instructor, I have to now be out there spreading the gospel, so to speak. But it was patience that I had to have patience, and just slowly make those contacts and those networks, form those good bonds throughout the basketball community, throughout the business world, throughout the special needs community, because this is some of the stuff that we do here. So if I got that all in one day, I wouldn't have learned anything. So the time that we spent and the patience that we needed to make those connections was invaluable. So I think if you are trying to start a business of your own, do not just wish for super high cash flow and lots of clients running in, running out. You have to understand that it's going to be a grind, it's going to be a struggle, and it's the journey of making those contacts and building those relationships with all the people, all the necessary stakeholders. That's what business is making good connections and building those bridges, because once those bridges are formed, they're forever. They never break unless you voluntarily break them or burn them, so to speak. So I've tried to keep all my bridges clear of traffic, and there's information flowing back and forth. I'm on the phone with counselors, I'm on the phone with real estate agents and business developers and partners. So you have to have patience for that. That doesn't just come every day. You have to, that guy knows that woman, that lady knows that guy, and wow, this is okay. Let's come together. Let's meet and let's discuss and let's forecast and go through all the semantics and options. That takes time, And if you're trying to start a business and you're looking to get rich quick, you're in the wrong business. It's not a business model. So business is patience, and that's what that's what I've had to, and value that we needed to get this thing off the ground.